Joining us tonight to talk about the deployment of the Mexican National Guard troops and other steps being taken now by the Mexican government as it becomes clear that López Obrador, the president of Mexico, has decided to partner with President Trump. Joining us, Tom Homan, former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Fox Business contributor, Great American. And Tom, great to see you here. The president, obviously, with a great deal to really declare victory over, and that is this partnership, nascent as of now, but obviously being established with President López Obrador. Your thoughts about that accomplishment and what it means?
It's an historic accomplishment. You know, he's got a deal in Mexico that's eluded every president before him. I mean, once again, look, President Trump is just a great president. And once again, he took his dollars to school. He took the Democrat leadership to school. He took even those in his own party that thought the terror threat was a bad idea. He took them all to school, and he won again. You know, despite all the resistance from the Democrats, despite the Ninth Circuit, ruling against him 9 out of 10 times, despite all this resistance, he's accomplished more in 2 years on this border than any president I've worked for. I worked for 6 of them, even some that had 8 years. Yeah. He's a great president. He's keeping his word. He's defending America. I'm proud that he's my president.
Indeed. And we have to go back 33 years to 1986, President Reagan, when he offered up the first amnesty to Mexican nationals in this country and was assured that there would be a secure border as a result by the Democrats. In 33 years, the Democratic Party have done nothing to honor that promise to President Reagan 33 years ago. Your thoughts about where we are now, the Democrats and their continued resistance to national sovereignty and the national interest and the well-being of the American citizens?
It's worse than ever. Look, the Democrats haven't offered up one thing, not one. The president has taken a series of executive actions. He sent unprecedented resources to the border, including DOD. He has written an immigration plan that they're not even responding to. He has declared a national emergency. He put terror threats to get a deal in Mexico. Look, and the president's on his own. Once again, he's fighting the fight, doing the right thing, and the Democrats haven't offered up one thing, but it's just not them doing nothing. They're working against them. Right. What are they working on? They're working on rewarding 2.5 DACA recipients with some sort of amnesty, which is only going to draw more families, because that's why the families are coming to begin with, because after they passed DACA under President Obama in FY12, the families started coming FY13, so they're their next DACA recipients, the next children brought no fault of their own. Then they passed themselves a pay raise. Then in FY19 appropriations bill, they put language where ICE couldn't go after the parents and the sponsors who hire illegal criminal cartels or smuggle their children in the country, put their children in the hands of criminal cartels. That's shameful. So not only are they not doing anything, Lou, they're working against them. So if there's a manufactured crisis, I submit to you that they're manufacturing this crisis and they're purposely making it worse to try to embarrass this president. But he won't be embarrassed, and this president won't fail.
Absolutely not. I couldn't agree with you more, Tom. I also, as I look at what the Democrats are doing, what the Chamber of Commerce is doing, the Business Roundtable, Wall Street and its alignment with those business lobbying groups, the Koch brothers, the Chamber of Commerce threatening to sue the President of the United States for pursuing the national interest and to taking responsibility for our national security. These groups, these business lobbyists, the Wall Street, the Koch brothers, lining up with the interest of the drug cartels in Mexico. And it's that straightforward, that simple, and that dangerous to America. I just cannot imagine why the national left-wing media, with a soul that is still, I hope, at least in part, independent from that of the lobbying groups, the Democrats, the radical Dems, they simply are accepting this, and I find it stunning that they would permit the tens of thousands of deaths from the opioid drugs that are being smuggled across that border by the cartels, the continued violence, the murders. If ever two nations should partner for their mutual security, it is Mexico and the United States against these drug cartels.
Absolutely. I just wrote an op-ed for FoxNews.com, and I talked about this. My 34 years in the government, I've never seen anything like this in my life. the constant resistance to try to secure this border. I mean, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, there's no downside in securing this border. And I'm sick and tired of the Democrats talking about, let's investigate the border patrol. Children are dying. Children are dying. Well, children are dying. 31% of women being raped. And you know what, Democratic leadership? You want to blame somebody? Look in the mirror, because you have refused to close the loopholes that bring these people to the country. Right. You've enticed them with abolished ICE, sanctuary cities, rewarding DACA. You have done nothing to slow this down. You have closed 0 loopholes, even though we asked you to do it two years ago. You've done nothing. So you know what? You own this. The president's the only one addressing it. And he's going to succeed, Lou. I'm telling you, if they would have worked with him at least part of this 2 years, we'd have a secure border today.
There's going to be an accounting in 2020, and it is one that is going to, in my judgment, it is going to unseat Democrats in huge numbers. Let me ask you this. Why is, against all of this, why are we not seeing an energetic removal of those under deportation orders, having gone through the immigration due process, a judge making those removal orders? Why are we got hundreds of thousands, millions in this country, family units, entire family units, living here illegally despite orders to be removed?
I've been pushing this for 6 months because I did this in FY15, Lou. When you remove these groups, we show the country deterrence. The numbers went down in FY15. I know it works because I've done it. I've talked about it for 6 months. I know ICE wants to do it. The operational plan's been sitting with the acting secretary for months. He needs to get that plan approved. ICE needs to do that operation to show Central America there is consequence to deterrence. You can't enter this country illegally, which is a crime, commit immigration fraud, which is a crime, get order removed by a federal judge, and just hide out waiting for the next amnesty. We can't allow that. We need to, this isn't a policy issue, this is a law. We need enforced law. We asked Mexico to do more. We're asking Congress to try to do more. Well, we need to do more and enforce the laws around the books. So I'm with you. The Secretary needs to approve that plan now.
And Tom, your point, it will move the Democrats as well to see the consequence will result from those due process orders by judges for removal to be enforced. That is one of the few things that might awaken some of these Democrats who are now so energized by resistance to this president. The president talking about a secret, holding out an agreement today in the gaggle. But talking about a secret that agreement within this broader deal that he and Lopez Obrador have reached. What are your thoughts about what that might be?
Safe third country.
Safe third country.
I got my sources. I think it's a safe third country, which would be the most important part of this agreement. That will be a game changer, because that will simply means that people from Honduras and El Salvador would have to claim asylum in Guatemala. Guatemalans had to claim asylum in Mexico, and it wouldn't really be, I know it has to be approved by the Mexican Congress, but you know what? It wouldn't be a real hardship on Mexico, because once you take the United States off the table, they're going to stop coming, because you're not really escaping fear and persecution. 90% lose their case because they don't have a claim. This is about getting to America, and if we can shut that off, Mexico won't have much to deal with at all.
Tom Homan, as always, great to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to see you.
Tom Homan.